Okay, trying to get professional in here. Hi, how you doing? How you be? Top to the AB. Hope everybody had a good day at work. Hope everybody had a good day at school or college or church or whatever you do during your weekdays. I had a pretty interesting affair. Not like the bad one, but like the good one. A lot of things happen. Currently, I'm actually on 32 gigs of RAM because I found out my 64 gigs of RAM was bad. So now I'm trying to debate on whether or not I want to get another 64 gigs while I'm waiting on my other one to RMA. Oh, I guess basically what I'm trying to say is if we lose connectivity and you no longer see me talking or the screen freezes, I apologize. It's because I don't have enough RAM. But I think we're okay. I saw it at like 50, 60%. I think that's going to be enough. So I think we'll be okay. Okay, my name is Anthony, the Open Forum. We don't actually play video games on this channel. Instead, we actually troubleshoot video games. We troubleshoot video games, technical support, PC games, PC issues, PC tech, networking, you name it, we troubleshoot it. So essentially, we help as many gamers as humanly possible game, essentially, I guess is the best way to say that. And I am your host, and we can go ahead and get started. There are a lot of things that happen here today, but we're going to start with something I don't normally start with, probably because I play the game, is Genshin Impact. It has a character teaser, and I always thought it was kind of interesting, so we'll just go ahead and take a look at it here. I stopped watching these after a while, but I figured I'll watch this one. All right, let's see here.
Dia, can the wall really keep the sandstorms out?
She never meant for it to keep anything out.
Don't you think Somero City's a bit far, Dia? She'll get homesick. Besides, who knows how the people in the rainforest will treat her?
Please, can't you let us in?
No, entry's prohibited.
But the sandstorm is raging, and we have a child with us.
You hard of hearing, no means no.
Come on. This way, quick.
I know that hurt.
Watch your step.
Girl, your nails are sharp.
Don't worry. If they do find you, I'll handle it. Relax. Just trust the Dendro Archon. Things are different now.
Whatever you say. But
Where'd she get lipstick from?
Mora? Isn't that like your whole life savings?
You'll see when we get there.
All right, we'll take good care of the girl. Your generous donation will be used to provide for the desert orphans. I'll need a name for the fund.
How about the Wall of Hope? That wall was never meant for keeping things out. It was for protection. I hope the kids can forget about all the sandstorms and have a chance at a real life.
Aww. Genshin Impact, where everything is easy and nothing is hard, and nobody's evil and everyone is nice. Like, come on. Oh, yeah. What are you gonna do with that money? Oh, I don't know. Feed the orphans. You know, everything has to have a positive message. I just want them to create a character that has a negative message. You know, they came close with Child, but Child isn't really negative. He's just well, he just likes fighting. So I don't know. You know, Genshin Impact is kind of going towards that area of Pokemon where, you know, it was never really negative except for like Black and White. But outside of that, they never really kind of got on the other side of Pokemon and nature and captivity and all that kind of stuff. Even though they very well could, but they were like, nah, we just gonna stay over here where it's safe and everybody likes us. We're not gonna get over there in that area because we may alienate some people. So, you know, Genshin Impact is trying to take that route, that Pokemon route. Speaking of Pokemon, it actually has a new DLC as well. What? Aww. Leaving kids unattended. The Pokemon way. Who that? Nice. A turtle. Got it. And also they have some pseudo legendaries that just came out. So if you are the type that's interested in Pokemon, this weekend I think is the a couple of pseudo legendaries. One being Suicune, and Suicune's ultra other form is a little well, Suicune new form. There we go. That's the way he normally looks. And Suicune new form DLC announced. Where is it? Oh, this is gonna take forever. Suicune, Pokemon Scarlet. Yeah, it's like this, but they look totally different. Oh, here it is. Okay. He looks like this. What just happened? Okay. Wow. Okay. So he essentially looks like this. There we go. There. Every time. Just stay on the picture. Okay. He looks like that. Yeah, you know, that if that was a Pokemon, I would say he resembles Suicune. It's supposed to be like an older version of Suicune before it became and evolved into Suicune, but okay, sure. I'll take your word for it, bro. Alrighty, but off of games and onto tech. The 7950X3D just got released off of its embargo, and it actually launches tomorrow. The 7950X3D review, AMD retakes gaming crown with 3D V cache. We're not reading all of this because we have stuff to do. We have people to help. But the pricey $699 Ryzen 9 7950X3D is now the fastest gaming chip in the world. The innovative 3D stack design is an engineering feat, but results in reduced performance in some productivity apps and doesn't accelerate all games. However, for the highest end gaming systems, no other chip can match the 7950X's 3D sheer gaming horsepower. Now, when they say sheer gaming horsepower, they're talking about gaming at 1080p compared to gaming with other chips. But you got to understand, this is also a $700 chip. You know, if you're going to pay $700, you can game at 2K. Leading game performance, modern platform, more overclocking, steep pricing, no support for DDR4, and reduced performance in some productivity apps. So yeah, they have it's basically at $700, which is very, very expensive. The 7800 X3D got delayed all the way to like April, but this one is getting ready to come out tomorrow. But the thing about that is, and the reason why I wanted to mention it is because if you are near a Micro Center, they do have a new special, which is the 7950X non-3D version plus a motherboard, a very good motherboard, by the way, and 32 gigs of DDR5 for $849. Which basically means you can buy this and get the whole kit, basically your entire computer, versus getting that 7950X 3D minus $150. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. So this just came out today. So if anybody's interested or anybody has plans on building a computer, it should also be noted that if you are near Micro Center, they have a thing where if you just bought it and you're still within the 14-day warranty, or if you did buy the additional warranty, you can actually take that back and they will refund you the difference if another special or better deal came out. So if you bought it and you paid full price and you see it here for $599 or $849 for a combo, you can take it back up to Micro Center and they'll just refund you the difference. You don't have to actually actually remove all the parts and components out of your computer if it's working. So that's something not a lot of people notice or know about, and I didn't know about it either. I had a rep actually explain that to me. So in case you guys were wondering, that's how it works there now. So without further ado, let's get started in helping people. All right. So we got a million repeats. I was trying to mix it up so it wouldn't get too bad, but we do have a lot of repeats. So bear with me here. We'll try to plunge through them, but we'll see how it goes. All right, so this is from Ankma. My PC occasionally crashing when launching a browser or games. My PC has crashed. Okay, I know you guys can't hear it, but I can hear it, and it's the fan, and the fan is kind of loud for the cooler. I also changed my my CPU cooler. I'm not exactly liking how this fan sounds, but we'll see. I'm still debating. My PC has crashed 4 times over a span of a month of active usage. The constant between the crashes is whenever a new application is launched, the Brave browser once, Valheim once, and League of Legends twice transition into game, not when starting the game launcher itself. The crash itself is almost identical, being that my screen turns black and loses connection to the computer as if I unplugged them. The computer itself remains powered on, but unresponsive despite rolling me head on the keyboard. I'd appreciate any tips. And so we were talking about, let me ask you this, what kind of case do you own? Because I've seen a similar issue when the GPU was losing connectivity because it was connected to a riser cable. Also, what happens if you swap the GPU to a different slot? Does it work then? One last thing, be sure to update your drivers for your GPU. He said all drivers are up to date and running. I did, however, disable HDR a couple days ago, and I am starting to suspect it was causing the issue. If it happens again, I'll try your suggestions. Wow. Wow, Anthony, thank you. And I said, okay, keep us posted. And we were talking about this because we were wondering about the whole HDR situation. And he said, I am confident the issue was caused by the HDR in Windows. I've had no problems in a week now. Woot! We will take our assist trophy. Woot. Woot. Happy to hear it, bro. Glad you got everything squared away. All the best. We'll take our assist trophy. That's a good start. No W, but it's a good start. Well, okay. I mean, who would have guessed HDR? You know, I mean, the chances of that being an issue is just so slim. It's rare that I run into a issue where the conclusion is HDR, but in this particular case, crashing because of it. Yeah, you know, that's kind of an interesting one. So I'll keep an eye on it. If we see that HDR come up again, we'll take note of it and start using that in our troubleshooting process, depending on, you know, what they say. But we'll see how it goes. Alrighty, Ankma, happy you got yourself fixed. Alrighty, this is from Gamios. Gamios writes, it sounds like his name is Cheerios. Xbox Series X is slow as heck while having a big game update being downloaded. We have really good internet connection, 200 megabits per second. And I appreciate this. Coming from an engineer, I appreciate this. With a capital M and a lowercase b because it's a megabit. You have no idea how much I appreciate that. Because when I'm reading it, I know what it is, right? So when I'm reading it and I see somebody missay it, I'll missay it too. So if I'm going too fast, I'll straight up just say the wrong thing and then I'll look like an idiot and then all my friends will make fun of me. Like, oh, you said megabyte. You know ain't no internet like that, boy. And so yeah. I guess it should not happen that a game download consumes most of the bandwidth such that other apps get problems. Well, that depends on, like, there's certain router settings that allow you to give gaming applications priority over your traffic. So there are situations where that could happen, but that usually comes down to the router. Well, are you on Wi-Fi or are you connected directly? If you are on Wi-Fi first, do a speed test from the Xbox, test network speed and statistics, then connect wired and run the test again. Let me know the results. That was, let's see. Xbox. So yeah, we were looking at that. That was right here from the, what was it? Where were we? I feel like I just passed it. Network settings, and then it was these test network connection essentially is what we were telling them to go to. So when we go back here, do a speed test and let us know. I'll bump this using my data. I'm hardwired in. Here are the pictures of my current download speeds updating Destiny 2 and a speed test right from the console. Console has done this for weeks, updating various games. No app/games running, rebooting my router and modem. Okay. So he has 2 pictures. Let's see what he got here. Okay, so he's at 1.35 gigs of 100. Well, it's Destiny, bro. Destiny is huge. Destiny got 80 million updates. Man, I done seen them fight the same boss 8 times. Destiny 2, man. Her and her brother. I'm like, man, I could have sworn they died. But you know how Destiny 2 is, man. 106 gigs. That's a lot of traffic. Ooh. Latency 69 milliseconds. That's really good. That's really good. 819 megabits per second. But that's when he was hardwired. But what about when he was on Wi-Fi? That's excellent. That's excellent. What about when you are on Wi-Fi? What are your speeds then? Also, it's a Series X. Okay, what are your speeds then? That's excellent. What about when you're on Wi-Fi? What are your speeds then? Granted, you are downloading what was it? Destiny 2. Destiny 2, which is one of the biggest games in the world. Only second to Final Fantasy. Yeah. Only second to Final Fantasy. I was thinking Lost Ark, but Lost Ark isn't all that big yet because it doesn't have as many expansions as Destiny 2. Destiny 2 has like it has a ton. I think it's on like its 8th expansion. Like it's a lot. Destiny 2, which is one of the biggest games in the world, only second to Final Fantasy in terms of file size. Okay, you could throw Call of Duty in there too. In terms of file size, only second to Final Fantasy in terms of file size. So it may take a bit, but if he's wired and his speed is showing that and he's still having slowness downloading, at that point it's a possibility that his internet service provider could be nerfing his download, or well, he's rebooting his router now. So yeah, for it to only be at 1%. I don't know his time, like how long he was waiting to get that 1 gig. That's excellent. What about when you are on Wi-Fi? What are your speeds then? Granted, you are downloading Destiny, which is one of the biggest games in the world, only second to Final Fantasy in terms of file size. So it may take a bit of time, but it's also possible your ISP may be nerfing your speed due to the traffic you are sending. Possible that your ISP may be nerfing your speed due to the traffic you are sending. But we will reach those when we get to it. Let me know your speeds after router reboot and your speeds on Wi-Fi if Wi-Fi is the ultimate goal. Thanks. So yeah, if he wants to get back to Wi-Fi and he wants Wi-Fi to be the end goal, then the best way to go about this is to just let us know and reboot the Wi-Fi. Reboot the router, then try Wi-Fi and see what the speed is and compare. If it's such a huge difference, like if it's like 80 or 50 megabits per second instead of 100 or 1,000 in his particular case, because he's somewhere around 800 megabits per second. So if he's somewhere, if he's somewhere in the 200 to 400 megabits per second range, that's actually okay for Wi-Fi. But if he's like below 100, then yeah, he may have a problem with his wireless, and in which case he would just need to hook up wired. But he only showed us wired, which makes me think that he was on wired, but we'll see how it goes. And also, we don't know time. So did he say how long he's been downloading? Also, we see numbers, but we don't know in what respect to time. How long has this download been going on for? Yeah, I mean, you just gave us the X direction. what are we gonna do without Y and Z? You gave us the X direction and you said meet us there. We're like, meet you there when? Tomorrow, today, next Wednesday? Like, come on now. You don't know. We don't have any time. We don't have any reference. We need a reference point in order for us to actually, you know, figure out how long it's been. Like if it's been a day and it's only 1 gig, yeah, you got a real big problem. But at the same time, you're rebooting your router, which would have been the next step anyway. So Gamios, let us know what happens here. And yeah, it's just us talking. So yeah, we'll see what he says. Come tomorrow. But yeah, that's pretty good. And the MTU at 1480, that's pretty normal. So yeah. All right, give me a swig of water. Ah, here we go. There we go. Okay, in Genshin Impact fashion, they made this meme. Why is Hu Tao on this? So the character that we just watched the video about, there's a whole talk about how she is terrible and she's not a very good character and you shouldn't pull for her and she's kind of trash compared to a lot of characters. And all of these other characters, to a regular person playing, they all feel like trash because Kaching originally, she felt kind of like trash. She was kind of weak compared to the other characters. Hu Tao was actually excellent, so I don't know why Hu Tao was on here. But Mona was actually excellent too. It's just that nobody knew how to use her. Mona is great as a healer, but nobody knows that. To think that she's a great healer because of the way her energy works. She works based on energy and hydro damage, and her energy gets converted to hydro damage, but nobody really knows that. So yeah, I get it. It's supposed to be a joke saying that, hey, this Grim Reaper is getting ready to take her, but yeah, that's supposed to be a joke, but I don't know about the whole Hu Tao thing. Hu Tao was always excellent. So yeah, this is, I don't know. I don't even know why I put it on here. I just thought it was kind of funny at first. I was like, oh, wow. Just taking off all the characters that they think are weak. Okay, Scott, I don't even have anything to post here because that's just too graphic. Optimal Objective 78 says, I just realized I did not turn on my AC and I'm paying for it, but but outside of that, I have a fan, so I think I'll be all right. Skybug in Xbox Series X. Did we work this issue? We had a person who had an Xbox and he was showing us a picture of stars, and he was saying that it was like white dots on his screen, but it looked like stars, and we were like, what do you want us to do? It looks like he was showing a background of a night sky, and he was like, oh hey, there's all these white blotches in the page, and we're like, well, how are we supposed to know which ones are white blotches and which one are stars? It's like 480p. So to us, it just looked like stars, and we're like, what do you want us to do with this? So let's see what he has to say though. I have been experiencing square and rectangle artifacts in the sky whenever I look. Not another sky video. Oh my God. Oh my God. And here he is. Okay. Maybe he can explain a little bit better than our last colleague did. I have been experiencing square and rectangle artifacts in the sky whenever I look up and move my analog stick up, left and right while looking at the sky. They disappear when I stop moving my analog stick and seem to only happen when in motion. I have experienced this in 2 games so far, Hogwarts Legacy and Cyberpunk 2077. I don't have Hogwarts Legacy on Xbox. I tried 2 different monitors and I have the same issue. I have tried Cyberpunk 2077 on my 980 Ti PC version and I don't seem to get this problem. Is this console issue or is it a software issue that is only happening with Xbox consoles? This does not happen in the rest of my Xbox games. Is this an FSR issue? I've tried FSR on my 980 Ti and I don't seem to get any issues like I have on my Xbox system. Is this an AMD issue? Did anyone else experience these bugs on the Xbox consoles or PS5? Here are 2 pictures that I have captured from Hogwarts. Why is this man looking at the night sky instead of playing the actual game? Oh.
Hello and welcome to Flutter Forward. It's a really, really exciting day.
Oh, sorry.
And thank you for tuning in. My name's John. I'm a developer relations.
Okay, let me stop that. Sorry about that. What are we looking at? I don't know what you want me to say. What is this? No. What is that? What am I looking at? Is it like the square Blotch, is that what he's talking about? Okay, I see a rectangle and I see a square. Okay, so it's not his monitor, it's not his HDMI cable, and he's tried different monitors and he's tried a PC and he doesn't have the issue. He only has it on the Xbox, but why does it? Okay. Okay. What's the next picture? Okay. Okay, that's a little bit more obvious. I guess it takes you out the game or something. Okay, not that. And what's this one? Suits. Okay. Bro, like, I don't know what you want me to say. And the second pick is a line made by simply looking up. Well, okay, let's troubleshoot it. Let's not treat him like we did that the memory guy. Well, I guess we didn't really treat him badly. We still helped him with his issue. His issue was cray-cray though. And I ended up, granted, the guy who had the issue with the memory that wouldn't change colors whenever booting, I ended up having the exact same issue. Go figure. And now I know a whole lot about it. Apparently, the Corsair Dominator RAM had a defect. There is a field notice. Corsair Dominator 5200 DDR5 field notice. Corsair. No. Dominator. It's not. Is it a field notice or recall? That's what y'all call it. Recall. Yeah. Dominator. DDR5 RAM. Blah blah blah. Yeah, here it is. So there was a recall for a lot of RAM on DDR5, and basically it affected kits that were sold between August 31st to September 21st of 2022. So if you have this, then you're going to have some issues in IQ software, and this may have been his issue, but I didn't know it at the time until I got the issue. I'd never actually like my Corsair Dominator RAM, which is this guy here, I actually took off my heat sinks because with the heat sinks on, it's actually just as tall as the motherboard. So if you took off the heat sinks, it got smaller, and I was able to put it in a mini ITX case. I was trying to put it in a Dan Case A4SFX. And so I removed my heatsink, so I never actually saw the lights, all of the lights. But after I moved it to ATX, then I saw it, and then I noticed the issue. So if you guys are having issues with your RGBs, and we know your RGBs affects your FPSs, then you should be aware that IQ does have some issues, and a recall is happening for the Dominator DDR5 memory. So you just let them know that you have a recall and open a ticket, and they'll take care of you, or at least they're supposed to. They haven't called me back yet, but that's what's going on. All righty, let's go back to our friend here. So with this, few questions. Does the shapes change when lowering the resolution or frame rate? Does the shapes change when lowering the resolution or the frame rate? And this was the Xbox, and it was a Series X, lowering the resolution or frame rate. Does this happen if you look at other objects that isn't in the sky? Okay, so so this one isn't really a troubleshooting. This is more of an assistance in paranoia. It'd be like, oh my God, I see aliens. And I'd be like, where? That's what this is. If you want to know what this is, that's what this is. Instead of being like, oh girl, you crazy. It's not like that. It's more like, okay, where did you see him? So we can dodge him, so we can, not get abducted together. That's what this is. So it's like, okay, well, all right, so you see squares and triangles and, and it's affecting you from playing the game or whatever, I guess, if you want to look in the sky. Okay, cool. So when do you have it? Do you have an issue at high resolutions or low resolutions, or what resolution are you running at, so on and so forth, and what's your frame rate? And then kind of go from there. I suppose it's not a whole lot we can do with a situation like that or an issue like that, but we can give them comfort. It'd be like, hey, I see ghosts. Okay, where? Are they near me? Just kind of go from there. Alrighty, optimal objective. I hope that helps. I hope that helps, bro. You got a friend in me, I guess. Okay, let me stop before I get waterlogged. All right, let's go to the next one here. Funky Bunch. Wow, I said Frankie Bunch. Funky Bunch says, updating SteelSeries Octus Nova. Oh, I remember this. So this is the guy with the Mac, right? And we were looking at the Mac, and we actually installed the software, which is here. It was a SteelSeries GG client. And essentially, it's a application that runs, but you have to have a SteelSeries product. And I forgot to hook up my Arctis 7 to my Mac here, but essentially, it's an application for the Arctis headset, and he's running it on his Mac. I don't have a PC. I have an M1 MacBook Pro with the latest version of Ventura 13.2 OS. I downloaded the GG app, made sure to allow input monitoring on uninstall and reinstall GG. It still won't detect my headset to update it. Does anyone have any suggestions? Am I going to have to borrow a friend's Windows computer? What happens if you plug your USB-C cable from the headset directly into the MacBook Pro M1? Does that allow the headset to be detected? We looked up his headset and we saw that it had a USB-C. I got it to update. I didn't have the dongle switch to USB. Wow. Okay. I know that feeling. I know that feeling very well. Gotcha. Glad you were able to get it fixed, bro. Have a good one. We'll take an assist trophy. Ain't no shame in our game. Assist trophy. Got it. Oh, speaking of assist trophies, I'm like 35% of the way from switching over from OBS to vMix. And essentially what it'll allow me to do is it'll allow me to take calls and do chats and get on like an actual video call with people so I can troubleshoot their issues remotely. Well, not necessarily remoting into their computer, but basically being on a call with them. So once I switch over, I'll be able to eventually add that feature. So there are some updates coming to the channel, so just be aware. And yeah, we'll see how that goes once we actually get to it. But I'm like 30% of the way. I fixed all of the bugs. There were originally bugs that were stopping me, and then I ran into issues with it constantly crashing, but after doing troubleshooting the past weekend, I ended up figuring out that it was because of the RAM, which is why I'm running on 32 gigs in the first place right now. But that's not enough for vMix. It'll just eat that up. So I have to wait a little bit until my new RAM sticks come, or I decide to buy another 64 so I have 128. We'll see how it goes, but that's essentially what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to get to. So bear with me. There will be some upgrades coming with the channel here, but we'll know more about that in probably the next week or two, after I get all my updates back and get all my components back. So we're almost there. We're almost there though. Alrighty. So, RTX 4090 WindForce in the NR200p. This is how I cut myself. This chassis right here is how I cut myself. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, maybe you've healed. Okay, all of this right here, all of this is gone because of this chassis, and trying to fit that card in that case cut all of this. So let me explain what happened. Okay, so I made it. I ended up making a video of it, but I didn't make a video of the gruesome parts. But essentially, this card is not really meant to fit in here properly, depending on which board you have. If you have that big square board that I have, which is let me see if I have it on my I don't. Okay, so if you have the X670E Asus Strix, there's only one ITX board, right? With the risers, this little bastard, this riser here. If you have the mini ITX, the Asus Strix X670E mini ITX board, it's so tall, it actually prevents the card from going in. So if we look at the Asus Strix X670EI, what? ITX, come on now. No, that's not, there it is. There it is with the daughter board. This right here, you see how it's up against the PCIe slot? So this right here prevents the card from going back some. And because it can't go back some because this guy is so tall, this is where all your NVMEs are, right? If you remove this, there's a PCIe slot on it, a PCIe X4 slot on it. But because of this, you can't actually move the card back, so it's too stiff. So it won't actually fit in the case properly because of the board. So yeah, it's a no-go. Like you can't actually get this to fit at all. But depending on the boards, like you see he don't have anything like that. There's nothing stopping this card from getting into that slot. So it's a little bit easier for him. But for me, it was awful. It was awful, awful, awful. It destroyed my hand trying to do this. But apparently, good for him. Good for him. I'm just jealous and kind of angry. This doesn't work fully. The reason this worked after much pain and injury is due to his motherboard. If you have the Asus ROG Strix X670EI, it does not fit. I repeat, it does not fit. The GPU will not go back far enough to fit flush like this. Good info. What stopped it from sitting flush? Can't recall my build leading to injury, by the way. Some small emotional pain, perhaps some financial pain, but no injury. The NVMe on that board is tall. Very, very tall. It's the same size or the same height as the heat sinks on the VRM. It's the same height as the heat sinks on the VRM. There is only a few millimeters from that heatsink, NVMe heatsink, to the PCIe Gen 4 slot. There's only a few millimeters from the NVMe heatsink to the PCIe Gen 4 slot, thus preventing the card from fitting properly. I have a video detailing my struggles on my channel, but I doubt I can link it. So the channel is called TheOpenForum. There we go. So yeah, just let them know. Like yeah, that right there. Maybe I'm doing it wrong because I'm really bad at reading manuals, but that did not work. So yeah, that was really painful. But at the same time, I don't have this board anymore. It's currently being RMA'd. I don't have this RAM anymore. It's about to be RMA'd. And I don't have this this cooler anymore. I swapped it out with this other one, but it's loud, so I don't know if I'm gonna keep it. So yeah, it's been a nightmare. It's been an absolute nightmare dealing with the AM5 and the 7950X. But because of that, we now know how to troubleshoot just about every 7950X issue you can have. So I mean, we even know how to troubleshoot RGBs on RAM now. Like, who would have thought? Like from day one of me doing this today, now somebody can ask me a question about lights on RAM and I can answer it in like 2 seconds. That's crazy. In any event, Livid Rip says monitor and audio issues. Okay, this is another repeat. So a little bit ago, we won't go that far until I remember, then I'll repeat what happened. So a little bit ago, I made a post about a PC I bought for a friend. The PC would remain on, but at seemingly random times, the monitor would turn off and the sound would cut off. It would all still be active though, as we would hear him in voice chat and he could still control the game, even if he could not see. Like if we were playing Overwatch 2, he could still move. And okay, I cannot for the life of me make sense of heads or tails of why it works in The Witcher. So yeah, so basically when he's in The Witcher, it works, and he's talking about Witcher 3. So let me check something real quick here. I was checking my temperature to figure out why my hold on, let me see if I can turn this down a little bit. IQ. My fans are kind of loud, and I'm worried that it's in the mic, even though this mic has excellent rejection. I don't want to risk it, and we've already risked it a little bit here, but we'll just change it to quiet real quick and see if that will do the trick. Pump. We'll just go quiet, and we'll go quiet, and we'll go quiet, quiet, quiet. There we go. Quiet. Okay, just cool it down a little bit. There we go. Just way too loud and way too annoying. There we go. There we go. There's no background noise now. There we go. Okay, y'all probably didn't hear anything. I don't know. This thing's rejection is pretty good. Okay, so we said, yeah, I have a few Witcher 1, 2, or 3 because we're trying to figure out which version of Witcher was working properly. But in all seriousness, for this issue, it sounds like it may be sleep options. Go to Start, Edit Power Plan, and set it to Max Performance. Then go to Edit Power Plan, Advanced Power Settings, turn off Sleep, and turn off Display. Set to Never or 0 and see if that makes a difference. Keep us posted. Thanks. Let me check my temps. Okay, temps are good. It's Witcher 3, and it seems he had that already, all of that done prior to the issue. He even going out of the other way to allow it to sleep, lowering power performance still does it. It's a brand new PC, and at this point, I'm just convinced it gets bored if a higher end game isn't running and just says, yeah, freak this. This wake me up when you have something, LOL. Yo, okay, let's read the actual issue. Let's actually work it. Okay, let me get ready. All right. So a little bit ago, I made a post about a PC I bought for a friend. The PC would remain on, but at seemingly random times, the monitor would turn off and sound would cut off. It would all still be active though, as we could hear him in voice chat and he could still control the game, even if he could not see us. Like if we were playing Overwatch 2, he could still move. A new discovery though has happened. If he would just be idling around, like watching YouTube or something, the problem would happen. But if it would never happen if he played The Witcher. He then discovered if he just left The Witcher playing in the background and went about doing the same things, YouTube, random browsing, it would not happen. I cannot for the life of me make heads or tails why The Witcher is preventing his monitor from turning off and audio from turning off. Any suggestions? Yeah. So if it's not sleep, let's go ahead and start looking at the inputs. Alrighty. So what happens? How many? Okay. I was thinking to myself, how many monitors does he have? Because I was wondering if it happens to multiple monitors already. So what happens if he swaps his input? If it's display, try HDMI. If it's HDMI, try display and see if it makes a difference. Also, what are the specs of the PC? And finally, have you checked for a driver update? If so, then try to install an earlier version, say a few months back, and see if that makes a difference. All right, so let's go with the inputs. Let's say, okay, if it's HDMI, try display. If it's display, try HDMI. And then as on top of that, then also try to install an older version of the driver to see if it makes a difference, because it could be driver that's causing it, or it could be HDMI display, something like that. But if his sleep settings are already maximized and it's kind of going to sleep, because he does have the ability to move and connect, even though he doesn't have a picture, it almost is like as if he loses signal, but he says he sees a black screen, but he also mentioned that he doesn't say no signal, which is interesting, right? Because if you get a black screen, that's totally different from it saying no HDR. I swear to God, if this issue is HDR, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it. Also, it's possible that you may have HDR turned on. If so, could you turn it off to see if it makes a difference? First time we actually mentioned HDR. Oh, wow. That was very quick. Who would have thought it would be literally on the same day? Okay, here's the thing, right? So what does HDR do, right? And I can show you on the Windows 11. I think the Windows 11 is the one with the 3090. I think that guy had it. So let's see here. I can show you what I mean. So if we go to display, I don't know why they changed this around. It's been the same since Windows 7, but now they want to make it all nice and pretty or something. System settings. I think that's close. Yeah, HDR. All right. So HDR setting, what this actually does is whenever you turn it on, it makes your screen really, 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 really bright. And if you are running HDR on a monitor that can't handle it, for example, if it's only spec'd for, like, let's say 400 nits or 500 nits, then it could cause a black screen because it can't actually go to the resolution or the nits requirement that's needed for HDR to work. Therefore, you see a black screen. And the reason why you don't have a black screen on Witcher is because maybe HDR is turned off, or it's not using that feature, or that feature's not enabled for that game, something along those lines. So it's a possibility that his HDR settings may be doing it. So this one here, we can go ahead and mention it, seeing in fact there is a possibility that that could be the issue. So Let's go back to him as soon as I remember which tab he's on. Also, it's possible that you may have HDR turned on. If so, could you turn it off to see if it makes a difference? Dang it. That was so close. And I didn't think that I would run into another issue with HDR, and here we go, 2 in the same day that could possibly be HDR. That's going to be interesting if it does. I'm really curious, because if it turns out to be HDR, good Lord, 2 HDR issues in one day. Like, what are the chances? At that point, you should just play the lottery. Also, it's possible that you may have HDR turned on. If so, could you turn it off and see if that makes a difference? Yeah, let's go ahead and work with that. So we gave him a couple of options, going to an earlier driver, trying a different input and a different cable, and then also HDR. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. We'll see what he says here. It's rare that we ever get somebody who gets past the whole power thing. You know, this is the first time that somebody has been like, hey, we tried the power thing. It didn't work. So this will be the next thing that I troubleshoot, but generally the power thing usually fixes it. So, hey, all right, I'm down. You down, I'm down. Let's figure it out. Yo, yo, this is what happens when you have Noctua L9, Noctua L9A with the 92mm fan. This is exactly the dust circle that it leaves. How the F do you clean this mess? Dust on the cooler, PSU cables everywhere. Disassembly the only option? No, you use condensed air. The problem with condensed air is that it doesn't blow hard enough to actually get rid of this. The actual dust is actually connected inside the grills of the heatsink. Therefore, even with a dust blower, it still may not actually get to it. So yeah, it's a pain, bro. A lot of times, like for example, whenever I have this issue with what are they called? With dust filters, I just run them under hot water. Like, I'm not even gonna play games. I'm not even gonna try to blow with the air can. I'm just gonna run it in hot water and then call it a day, because I don't have time to mess with this. Like, this is too much work. So yeah, I know this feeling, bro. And good God, where did you have this? Oh, my poor Corsair. Good Lord. What did you do to that 650 watt? It looks like it's been through war. Were you painting? Did you paint on your computer case? Good Lord, man. Sometimes you should probably let it get some air. Take that outside and burn it. No, I'm joking. Please don't do that. That's a Corsair. That's a 600 watt power supply. That thing's like $150. Please don't burn that. And that is an excellent heatsink. It's just very dirty. Well, disassembly the only option. You could blow on it. No. There's too many. I don't know the implications, right? Because of the implications, we can't say that. Okay. Fire or water? Fire or water? Pick an element. Pick an element and stick with it. LOL. Yeah, I bet nobody gonna beat me with that. Take that, funny people in Reddit. Fire or water, pick an element and stick with it. Okay, yeah, I like that one. But yeah, basically, everybody's gonna say there's no point in me answering this because there's 132 comments, so somebody's gonna say the right answer. The right answer is a dust blower, not an air can, a dust blower. It's a totally different thing. And that can help, but take it outside though. Don't do that inside. Fire or water, pick an element and stick with it. Use one of those electric blowers or compressed air. Don't do compressed air, and outside, use it outside. Yeah, so everybody knows. Most if you have 100 people in a room and they all have like a dusty PC, there's going to be at least 2 that knows what to do with it. So there's no point in us actually replying to that. That's too easy of a question. We deal with harder issues around this channel. We ain't got no time to be dealing with dust issues. Even though we get blown up by dust issues every now and then, but I mean, it's kind of rare. All right, why is this happening? Okay, I'm down. Hold on, sorry. Every time you open something in Reddit, it always starts like that. What? Okay. What is it saying? Sorry, cannot connect to YouTube. Oh, okay. So he has a network connectivity issue. All right. So this is on Xbox One. Okay. Well, we don't have an Xbox One, but we do have an Xbox Series X. So let's see what happens when we try. Jojo, Xbox. Do I have YouTube? I feel like I do. Entertainment, Netflix. Oh, okay. There we go. No. Yes. Get. Got. This shouldn't take none but a second. It's YouTube. Let's see. Seriously? Okay, do we have that other guy's issue where it takes forever? Oh no, here we go. Okay. Okay. To be fair, in different inputs, we'll also have music. It's just that in this one here, there isn't because I haven't had time to adjust the audio gains. So typically with music, if anybody's curious, you want to have your music somewhere between -16 and -22 decibels, and you want to have your voice somewhere between -13 and like -6. So you know, if you just put music in there willy-nilly, it can overpower the person talking and it becomes a very, very loud stream. So that's the reason why I don't do that. Plus copyright. Well, there's no real copyrights because I have an account with Epidemic Sound, but you just can't be too sure. Epidemic Sound has been pretty solid though, so I haven't had to worry about it too much. But in any event, let's try YouTube. All right. Well, okay. Well, that answered our question. So it appears that he's just probably more than likely has a network connectivity issue. So we'll just troubleshoot it like any old network connectivity issue that we get 100 times a day. Alrighty. So so there's already 2 people who commented. So more than likely they've also probably realized the same thing. So we won't go the same route they did. Alrighty. So this is probably going to be a network connectivity issue. If you go to, what was it? Dang it, I can never remember where they do their speed test here on this. Yes, I want to exit YouTube. Oops, sorry. It was, it's settings, yes, but we're at in settings. Settings, general network settings. Settings, general network settings. If you go to settings, general network settings. Ooh, I'm sorry. Tacky Anthony, tacky general network settings, and run a speed test. Well, okay, that's even more tacky. Speed test. What are the results? Are you wireless or wired? If you are wireless, try connecting directly to the router and let us know what happens. Okay, so we'll go with that route, you know, because we'll see what everybody else says. Hold the power button for 30 seconds, unplug the console from the wall. Yeah, I keep getting the same error, but I have no idea how to fix it. 2 birds with 1 stone. Oh, okay. I already posted the first steps of his issue, the first steps to the OP issue, but we can shoot yours as well. We are an equal offer. You can't even spell opportunity. How do you expect to get one? We are an equal opportunity employer. That's sad, bro. That's so sad. We are an equal opportunity employer. All right. All right. So also follow the guides for him and just reply here or message. Well, no, just reply here. If I was gonna say message me in chat, but sometimes when I don't see chat the way I see the replies, because the replies come in as notifications and I can just right click and just open them all up. Whereas the chat, you gotta literally click on the chat, open a chat, see what's going on. And it's also a smaller screen than this one. So you know, if somebody's watching, they can't see it. So I don't really like people just pinging me from Reddit. It's kind of annoying. Alrighty. So also not for me, but for viewers. All right. So also follow the guides for him and just reply here if your situation deviates from his. All right. So if you right here, just copy paste. 2 birds with 1 stone. Let's do this. Oh, wow. This is going to be a heck of a case. So now we have his issue and we have somebody else in here. So hopefully their issues are similar, but I seriously doubt it. Well, okay. I don't doubt it, but we'll see what happens. Okay. Because there's 2 people with 1 issue, it's also in our best interest just to check and see Xbox Series 1 YouTube crash. No. No. Okay. I'm just making sure that that there's no bug that has been created or something that's wrong with the actual application itself, in which case it would show up like on YouTube or something like that, or there will be more recent posts than this. So I think we're okay with our plot of this. So yeah, we'll see what they say. All right, 2 birds, 1 stone. That was actually pretty cool. Let's do it. Alrighty, so Harris. Harris writes, after shutdown, my PC starts again with no visual on the monitor. Okay, so I have a problem that's been bugging me for like a month now, and I can't seem to fix it. The only thing I changed is the fact that I added a graphics card, but I don't see that creating problems. I remember we laughed when we read that the first time, and now we're laughing when we read it the second time. So after I shut down my PC, it starts its own again with no visual, though in the monitor. Anyone had the same problem here? Thanks for reading my message. Yeah, we answered this. Yep, go to System, Event Viewer, Windows Log System, and scroll down to the time of the shutdown. Is one of the errors a process that starts with NV? What should I do if I find it? I don't see anything starting with NV. Okay, well, after shutdown, my PC starts. Was that Sleepy? I think I may have confused shutdown with bug, and I was thinking crash like blue screen of death. Why would I send him the Event Viewer? That was stupid. I'm sorry. That was dumb. I'm sorry. Must have been a bit sleepy. I thought you were crashing, but you just don't have a screen upon boot. So I have a problem that bugged me. The only thing I changed, so after I shut down my PC, it starts on its own again with no visuals through the monitor. Anyone had the same problem? So you shut it down and it starts back up with no visuals on the monitor. It starts back up with no visuals on the monitor. Okay. I'm sorry, I must have been a bit sleepy. I thought you were crashing, but you just don't have a screen upon boot. So with this issue, let's think about this. So whenever he shuts down, okay, well, are you shutting down or are you hitting reboot? So with this issue, are you shutting down or hitting reboot? Generally, when we see this, it's because an update is running in the background. But how exactly do you turn your computer off? Okay, that's the reason why I asked this, right? So there's a couple of different ways that you can go about this. Some people, like my mom, she never actually knew how to go to shutdown, right? So she never knew how to go to like start, power, shutdown. She would just power it off. She'd just press the power button on the computer and turn it off. So certain people don't actually know how to shut down computers. So it's always in your best interest to ask and see exactly what they say and then kind of go from there. So you know, he may not actually be pressing power shutdown, or he may be pressing power shutdown and don't realize that an update is actually installing before he shuts down. So I think, and he may be thinking that it's actually turning off, but it's actually installing the update and he just doesn't realize it or something along those lines. And he may be, or the monitor may be turning off or something along those lines, but we'll troubleshoot it as we come to it. But we have to get an idea of exactly what he's doing because that's the only way we can troubleshoot it. So how are you rebooting your computer, or how are you turning off your computer? And then we go from there. Be like, oh, I unplug it. It's like, oh God, if it's turning back on after you unplug it, then you need to get out of the house because obviously your computer is possessed. So it really kind of depends on what he's saying here. But how exactly do you turn off your computer? So with this issue, are you shutting down or hitting reboot? Generally, when we see this, it's because an update is running in the background, but how exactly do you turn off your computer? Also, how exactly do you turn off your computer? Also, with the graphics card, what happens if you move it to a different slot? That's too much for him. Move it to a different slot. Well, he said he did it. So does the issue resolve itself? So too many questions, man. Could you list your specs? Oh, that's too much. That's too much. We'll go with this. I don't necessarily need his specs as much as I need to know what happens and how he turns his computer off and then kind of going from there. And I would rather know this than knowing the specs. And then we kind of go from there. The reason why is because even if he told me his specs, all he's saying is that whenever he turns on his computer, it tends to turn itself back on. So that can be a boot, something in his boot, or it could be his power switch may be damaged and it may be actually held down or powering itself back on whenever he presses the power button. It could be a lot of different things. So, but of course, all of those are very, very low probabilities, but we just need some more information, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the specs of the computer. We just need some information in general. So let's just go with this here. I don't want to give him too many questions because I worry that he won't be able to answer, all of them. Like, for example, he only gave one sentence. Does that make sense? So because he only gave one sentence, there's a probability that he may not give a lot of sentences if we ask a lot of questions. So because of that, we're just going to kind of keep it brief with him and see what he says. Okay, Harris, keep us posted, bro. Okay, I need more water. It's way too hot. Okay, check the CPU. Making sure. Okay, it's fine. Okay. Group 3. Let's do this. All right, so this is from, I remember him. Ecthristian? We'll just, oh my God, what happened? Oh, it's solved. Okay. Never mind. Oh, okay. Well, let's see. Our ego is forcing us to go down the page. Well, that's interesting. That means you are fighting a hardware problem. Okay, I just tried installing Windows boot file to the HDD, but unfortunately it didn't work. The same thing happened as with the thumb drive. Well, that's interesting. That means we are fighting a hardware problem. Let's start with this. Remove in overclocking and XMP profiles, the system temporarily. Remove overclocking and XMP profiles from the system temporarily to see if it makes a difference. Also, when you get a chance, try to update the BIOS to see if it helps. Thank you so much. Updating the BIOS worked and I was able to get the installer running. Woot. We collect W's and we appreciate the W's, sir. It feeds our egos and they are getting enormous because we are really good at what we do. Thank you so much. We are happy to help. We are more happy that it got fixed, but we're also happy that we got a W. So, that's how we roll. we don't like taking L's and we like taking W's. Thank you for feeding our egos. We appreciate it. Thanks. Glad it helped. All the best. This is like, hold on. Let me reply with our good reply. This is like these award speeches, like whenever you winning awards for like best picture. Okay, for best technical support engineers, the open forum, and we'd be like getting on stage and be like, I knew we were gonna win, but thank you everybody. Oh my God, thanks the forum. You gotta be all nice. Thank your parents, thank your mama, your kids. But what we really want to say is we already knew we were gonna get it right because we are very, very good at what we do. So I feel like that's the way Denzel feels when he gets on stage. Like he already knew he was gonna win. It just be like, oh, what was it? Snoop Dogg. He was like, I like to thank me. I like to thank nobody else but me. And dang, Snoop Dogg, you cold. That's how I feel every time we get W's. Like we are very good at what we do. Alrighty. Okay. All right. I'm done gloating. I've come back down to earth with all the mortals. Okay, let's do this, y'all. All right. So Micro Warrior, I am told to sign in with the account that bought the game to renew. I remember this. So this was the whole Xbox Series X renew. The last time we had an issue with this about 3 weeks ago, and with that guy, we were worried that he may have bought a suspicious Xbox, right? So we had to ask, but we didn't ask in that way. We didn't try to, point fingers or anything. We were just trying to get a good understanding of the issue. All right, so he says, a lot of my games that are from Game Pass are telling me to renew my subscription or sign into the account that bought the game, although I am signed into my Game Pass Ultimate subscription is paid. The error code I got is blah. So we looked this error code up. Well, at any point, did you have a different username or did you change your email address for your Xbox account? We have seen this issue several times before, and it usually is caused by account changes. So you may need to open a ticket with Microsoft to see if it makes a difference. Also, log into your Xbox account from a computer and check your game library to make sure everything is still there. Thank you. I'll try with the computer and the ticket, but I've had this username and account for a few years. This is my Xbox One, and I haven't had an issue before. Okay. Well, the best thing you can do is to try from a computer or remote play to see if that fails as well. We're talking about accounting, man, but more than likely though, you would need to open a ticket with Xbox. Like, we can't fight that. If you're having an accounting issue, there's not a whole lot we can do here. We can't walk you through how to fix your account. At some point, we have to let go. And at this point, this is what we will let go because the only person who can help you is Microsoft at that point if you're having an issue with your account. So we have to let go on this one here. It's not hardware. It's not something we can troubleshoot. This man is having an issue with his Xbox account. We can only give you options on what we would do. Now, if this was a Facebook account, that'd be different because Facebook doesn't have people. It's just bots. But Xbox, actually, I believe they have people. Last time I checked, based on recent layoffs, they have people, but I don't know exactly how the Xbox community, as far as opening up tickets, how quick they are to resolve it. I've never had an issue because I've never had an Xbox until 2 weeks ago when we got ours. So yeah, I don't know for sure. Xbox is kind of in that iffy area because the Xbox, every single game that came on the Xbox also came on the PC, and I've always built PC since I was 6. So I've never needed an Xbox because I've always had a PC. I had the first laptop, like I've always had a computer. So I don't know, I've seen Xboxes, I've used them. Obviously we troubleshoot them every single day, but I wasn't playing with them when I was 10 and 12 and 14. I was working with computers and modems and trying to get on the internet and AOL online and getting kicked off with 3.5, kilobits per second. You couldn't even get megabits per second back then. You get 1 megabit per second. You thought you were running the world. So that's where I come from. That's the generation I come from. So yeah, Micro Warrior, at this point in time, you may have to open up a ticket with them and see what they say. All right, let's go ahead and go. Why does this group only have 4? I feel like we may have moved one on accident, but I'm not going to worry about it. We'll see how it goes. The Masala writes, oh, this new. Hey, we got a new issue finally. All right, let's do this. All right, Masala. Xbox wireless headset issue. Crackling, audio drop-off, sound distortion 2023. Hello, all. Hey, what's up, homie? I am having issues with my wireless headset. I've gone through one wireless headset already. I get random crackling and audio drop off for a split second and distorted audio. This happens with the official Microsoft wireless headset. Nice. Nice as in the headset. I have returned it already, and now on my Razer Kiera Pro Xbox. Not as nice. The headphones pair with the console easily. However, the audio issue described above still persists. I've tried many troubleshooting procedures already. I moved all my 2.4 gig devices, home, alarm system, cams, etc. on a different channel via my router 11. Well, I would have given 11 to the Xbox, but whatever. Tire channel 6 and 1. Clearing the alternate MAC addresses seemed to clear up the issue, but only for a few hours. Okay. I've even factory reset my console. Tried clearing my Xbox cache, repairing my headset, switching from Windows, Sonic, Dolby Atmos, changing EQ settings, and repairing my controller. Repairing your controller? All of troubleshooting options procedures mentioned above I have found via Reddit and other forums. However, all of these posts were over a year old. I was hoping someone else has another idea. I've heard the Series X controller may be at issue. I've had yet to try older Xbox controllers. This console is only a month old and I was purchasing new, and everything is up to date and with the newest firmware controllers console, including the Razer Kiera Pro. I'm guessing the Kiera Pro is a wired controller that plugs into the audio jack. The audio jack on the Xbox. That's what I'm guessing. But let's see. Razer Kiera Pro. Really? Is it what? Is it wired or wireless? Razer Kiera Pro for Xbox. Okay, so it was on 2.4. He mentioned that. All right, so on the bottom, it doesn't appear that it has anything that can hook up directly. It's just straight 2.4. So, well, that sucks. Look at memory, Windows Sonic. Let's see all your buttons here. Game chat, balance wheel, EQ pairing, Bluetooth multifunction button. It's on Bluetooth. Xbox wireless, cardioid mic, blah, 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 blah. Xbox wireless and Bluetooth 5.0. Xbox wireless and Bluetooth 5.0. Can it pair via Bluetooth? It appears that this headset can pair via Bluetooth. Have you tried that as an option? There are no cables. Why was he updating the controller? That was kind of weird. But you know, I get it. I think he was just out of options and just kind of trying every single thing that he could. So I understand. It appears that this headset can pair via Bluetooth. Have you tried that as an option? What was the original one he said? Microsoft, the official, okay, there's more than one wireless headset. There's the old ones and then there's the newest ones. He didn't specify which one he had. Have you tried that as an option? Also, do you have a pair of wired headphones? What happens if you plug those into the controller? Does the audio sound better? Most people have a set of wired headphones just somewhere around that they may have bought that came with their cell phones from back in the day, or just they have lying around. So it's a good option to have them check it with a wired headphones plugging into the 3.5mm jack on the Xbox controller to see if it makes a difference. So we'll try that as a true alternative, and we'll also try Bluetooth as an alternative because that's the other method that's supported by that particular headset, and see what he says. Alrighty then, Masala, keep us posted. If this fixes your issue, that would really help out our ego. Simply because he said he's tried everybody else and over a year and nobody's been able to help him. Man, you wouldn't be able to get us out the clouds. We'd be like, we on cloud 9, we on cloud 10. Like, no, we're not coming down with you mortals. We are too good at what we do. All right. So let's go to the next episode of Helping People. Dark Raider 758. Need help with my iPhone 13 Pro Max. Okay. I'm down. Oh, that's right. We were talking about this. I didn't even know which iPhone I had. So I have this iPhone and recently started noticing that at certain times, usually when opening apps, more so the camera, it just gets black on screen. This persists until it gets very cool for a while. I've had it left on my desk for hours. Oh yeah, overheating. We know, I know this one. We were talking about it. So when he showed the picture, yeah, overheating. You can even tell because of the colors. It's overheating, bro. It appears the processor is unable to show the screen for extended periods of time because the phone is too hot. Plugging into the charger warms the battery, thus making it hotter. I would say take this to Apple Store to say so they can replace the phone. The phone physically doesn't get hot at all. I don't think it has something to do with power delivery, but unfortunately for me, my warranty has run out. Well, 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 then the only thing you can do is a hard wipe of the phone to see if that makes a difference. But this is a software wipe. If the issue persists, it's hardware. And there is nothing we can do except take it to a repair shop. I don't know who buys the iPhone 13 Pro Max and doesn't get the insurance to go with it, but I get it. It's hard times nowadays. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to look up the iPhone 13 Pro Max to see if it was the newest one. But apparently it said no. I can't. There's too many versions nowadays. When did it release? iPhone 13 Pro Max release date. Okay, 2022. Oh, 2021. So it's a little bit older. Okay, maybe that's the one I do. Maybe that is the phone that I have. Okay. If the issue persists, then it's hardware, and there is nothing we can do except take it to a repair shop. So let's give them the link. iPhone wipe how to hard reset iPhone 13 Pro Max. Force restart iPhone, Percolating Crest, blah, blah, blah. For 4-star receptions on the iPhone, said blah, blah, blah. If phone doesn't restart after trying, if your phone won't turn on or is frozen, force a restart. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to wipe it. From a relative. My new neighbor just offered to massage my feet. I'm like, what? Girl, don't you know I'm working? Oh, wow. Okay. All right. That's okay. I'm up now. Quickly press and release volume. No, that's not it. During the process, you will see a slider on the iPhone. You're going to want to ignore that and continue holding down the slide button. At that point, Apple logo will pop up, and after that, restart is complete. iPhone 12 basic buttons. How to power off? No. How to activate emergency SOS? No. How to disable Face ID? No. How to enter recovery mode on the iPhone 13? Blah, 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 blah. Using lightning cable, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, right here. So iPhone enter recovery mode. So which one were we on? This one. Start from where it says enter recovery mode. All right. So yeah, just a hard reset is the only thing that you really can do at this point. You know, I mean, it's not going to let you in like that. You're not going to be able to see the screen. Now, it's a possibility that the screen is dead, which means it's a hardware issue anyway, and we're right. But we went more power, but either way, it's still hardware, and either way, he's still screwed. It's not going to make him any less screwed if it's monitor or if it's power. But what I'm getting at is if it is monitor, right? It's a possibility that even though it's not showing a picture, he may still be able to unlock the phone just by memory, like just by like your motor memory or whatever. Like if he knows his password or whatever, he knows exactly where the keys will be because he's done it a million times. He may, even though it's not showing it, the touch capacitive of the actual screen may actually still work. Thus, he may get optic feedback if he tries to press buttons. So it could be something like that, but that really just tells you that your monitor is down or bad. So it's not going to help us at all in this case. But yeah, you're just trying to debate right now between software and hardware. So let's just wipe the software. If we wipe the software and you still have the issue, it's hardware and it's game over. Alrighty. All right, bro, man. I hope that helps. Keep us posted, bro. Group 4, we're making progress. And it's 8:20. We're doing really good on time. Okay. Check something real quick here. Okay. Alrighty, that looks good. How to enter recovery mode on iPhone 13. Oh, no. Wow, Anthony. Wow. 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 Yeah, I didn't see that. We already worked this. Did he have more than one issue? I feel like he did. Should be corrupted. Well, essentially that means we're fighting a hardware. Yeah, we already did them. I'm sorry. He probably replied twice, so he came up twice. Aether, Greater Aether. We remember him. Who was that? Who had Aether? Roy. No, not Roy. Oh my God, it's not Roy. It's Ike. Xbox Series X and LG C2. Yeah, I remember this. So we worked this. It was a whole lot, and he was talking about his dog and stuff that we didn't care about. Like he was really getting into it. Because the power save option lowers wattage on the system in total lower than the sleep option, that is why therefore it has a tendency to put devices to sleep similar to laptops and their peripherals and device manager power savings. Plus we run a live stream where we troubleshoot gaming issues, and this pops up often. This was the power options in Xbox, which is here. If anybody still remembers, here we were talking about this. So that's where we were coming from, and we were like, we've seen people who've asked us issues in the past, and it would be caused by that. So and he said, oh, okay, that makes sense, and blah blah blah. So we said yes, but I would try to avoid putting both the LG C2 and the Xbox to sleep at the same time. Also try to update the firmware. The LG just, oh God. Does he think we love reading? Is that what it is? Is he trying to write a graphic novel? Is this chapter 1? Please, somebody explain to me, why does this post have to be so long? Good God, man. I didn't want to read the first one. We skipped past like 4 paragraphs last time we did this. Come on, man. All right, I'm gonna quit complaining. Whoo, Lord, you trying to test my reading skills? I promise I read on a high school level. I totally got this. Well, I just gave it a try, and I'm afraid it didn't work. I turned on the Xbox and the TV and set the console to sleep mode. I wasn't sure if it'd be best to try changing some settings right then, or restart, turn off console first. I opted for the latter, turning off the Xbox sleeping settings and left the TV on. After about 5 minutes, I turned the console back on and the bug was already in effect. I will say though, I was able to get it back to 4K and everything much quicker while in sleep mode, although that could be just luck. Ultimately, since sleep mode didn't seem to actually solve it, I set the Xbox back to shut down. I can't stand when people do that. I cannot stand when people do that. They try it once and it doesn't work, so they change it right back to where they want it. Like, come on, man, let me work the issue. I set the Xbox back to shutdown mode and turned it off for a while as somewhat of a test. And sure enough, the bug appeared again and when it was turned back on, but after 15 minutes of fiddling with a eARC support toggle, I was able to get everything back. The bad news is it seems that the bug is now occurring on startup on its own now, rather than just from changing certain TV settings. Do you think the TV needs to be restarted at certain points, or maybe the Xbox needs to be off while settings are changed? My C2 is up to date, by the way. As I sat here typing this shortly after the console shut down, I noticed the input changed to read no information. Yeah, he's losing signal. So one of them is going to sleep. I don't care what he says. And the name reset to default Xbox game console. I bet when I turn it on next, the bug will be in effect again, because it sounds like what you were talking about earlier. Also, doesn't matter or not if the Xbox input is in PC mode. Currently it is, as per some recommendations I've seen. The suspense was killing me, so I turned it on again. The Xbox's input seemed to completely reset to default, including being back to console mode instead of PC. When the Xbox was turned on, a notification said something like Xbox connection enabled, and the bug was not active on the Xbox. I don't even know what to think about this. Should I avoid putting it back into PC mode? It had been fine with that setting, but this is the first time the input reset like this, or at least the first time I notice. Question. Do you have the Xbox into the ARC HDMI input? What happens if you move it to a different one? What happens if you move it to a different one? What happens if you try a different monitor slash TV slash monitor slash TV? does the issue persist? And yes, it sounds like the inputs are going to sleep on one side or the other, thus causing it to reset settings for some reason. I would say, have I already asked him to do that? No, we just answered the question. I would say try other inputs outside of the one you are currently using. Let the default settings of the TV take effect and see what happens. Default settings. Oh, I'm sorry. Settings of the TV take effect and see what happens. Also, since you will lose less, you can try to set the LG C2 back to factory settings to see if it makes a difference. Okay, so I'm thinking that it's a possibility that he may be on the ARC signal, okay? Do I have proof that the ARC signal will cause this issue? No, because we've only had this issue maybe twice. So I don't, but if we're looking at the inputs on the HDMI of a LG C2, which is a very fancy television, LG, a very popular one too. Inputs, right? So you see how it has this arc? If he said eARC whenever he was mentioning it in his soliloquy. So what I'm trying to get him to do is not use eARC, instead use 1, 3, or 4. So basically I want him to use any port that isn't 2 and see exactly what happens and go from there. So I should probably say that. Just, fancy stuff. Okay, obviously we're not there yet. You can try to set, you have the Xbox into the ARC HDMI input. What happens if you move it to a different one? Literally anyone other than 2. Literally any one other than 2. What happens if you try a monitor or TV? Also, since you will lose less, you can try to start the LGC2 back to set the LGC2 back to factory settings to see if that makes a difference. It seems that he's really into trying to get this fixed. That's why, okay, normally will we give somebody else this exact same level of effort? No, because we worry that they won't answer every single question that we post. But because this man just gave us his whole life story twice, we're going to go ahead and treat it like he's going to read this entire paragraph. It looks like he was waiting the entire weekend for us to get back. So yeah, let's go ahead and treat him, you know. So how many times we talk? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Somebody else is talking. Had the same issue with my LG C2 and Xbox Series X. The solution for me was put HDMI first socket, HDMI 1. Mine already connected to HDMI, but maybe I'll try a different port anyway. My PS5 has had 0 issues, so I can try switching their ports. Well, first time using the different HDMI, I don't know it was what, but I moved my house and reconnected the HDMI 4 or something. I noticed that I was having this issue much more, actually every single time I was tweaking settings to have 4K 120, you know. And then I did try HDMI 1, everything works like a charm. If not HDMI 1 for you, maybe 2. It's not 2. It's definitely about HDMI, I believe. That solved my issue. He had an LG G2, which is a lesser version of the C2. And yeah, that's what we suggested as well, or a factory reset. But yeah, trying a different input. Okay, so it looks like everybody's on the same page, but this was also 2 days ago. And his reply to me was 3 days ago. Okay, so everybody replied to him over the weekend, as it appears. So, you know, everybody's pretty much in the same suggestion here that, hey, should try. We also told him to try a different monitor or different television, but that's good information. Now that we see, if we see another one of these Xbox LG C2s, we know to get it off of ARC, right? And try to go to HDMI 1, 3, or 4. So that's good information. I probably won't forget that. Xtia. Xtia, let me close that out. Xtia X Proto ATX custom loop. Okay. Oh, Yo, that's kind of clean. I like the lighting. That's really nice. But these tubes look kind of small. But okay, sure. I like the heatsink. Is there a graphics card? Oh, okay. There's your graphics card is over here somewhere, I guess. I don't know. I can't tell. Oh, okay. Your graphics card is down here. Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay. I mean, hey, that's a pretty nice build, bro. I kind of like these open air builds, though. I'm starting to like them a lot more because they're quiet. Well, they should be. They should be quiet. It all depends on how loud the pump is, but nice build. Nice build. I think I may try this open test bench build one of these days. It's equivalent to peeing with the door open. No, that's not even funny. I'm not gonna say that. That's exactly what it's like, but it's not funny. I think I'm gonna get smashed if I said that. This might just be the smallest tubes I've ever seen used in a water cooling build. I would have said the same. Those tubes are super tiny, bro. Super tiny, super duper tiny. I guess he's just is moving like droplets, so it's like rainwater or something. I guess. I don't know. That's kind of an interesting build. I don't know, man. Those are very small chords, but okay. No. Don't tell me I clicked on another. Oh my God. Okay. LGC2 again. We're going to be experts at this freaking LGC2 before it's all over. LGC2 stuttering when playing 4K USB media. I tried playing a video 4K HDR Atmos 7.7 gigs through a hard drive plugged into the USB port. And the video kept stuttering or hanging. Is this because the port is only USB 2 and not 3? Yes. Well, kinda. It plays perfectly fine on my Hisense U8G Australian, which does have USB 3 port. If in fact the problem is because USB 2 limit, how do I play media on my OLED? I tried playing it on my PC through 2.1 HDMI, but the image quality just wasn't as good as me playing it on the TV. Do I know how to answer the question? Yes. I'm just trying to figure out a way to answer the question so that he could do it. Because since I was a kid, I've always had, since Windows 8, I have always had a computer connected to my television. Always. A matter of fact, how I got started in tech is because I won a Newegg contest because I did a video. It was like my first video about how Windows 8 can be used in the living room. And yeah, that won me a lot of money. So it was a lot of money back then. Right now, I guess it still be considered a lot of money. It was really good. It was a really good contest. But in any event, that's how I got started with video. Is because of that. That was like what, I don't know, Windows 8, 13 years ago, 12 years ago. It was a long time ago. It plays perfectly fine on my Hisense. In fact, this problem, I tried to play on my PC. I wonder how can. Okay, so it's a 4K video. It's 7 gigs, and he wants to play it on his television. And his television is an LG C2, with network connectivity and apps. So there's a couple things he can do. One, he can put it to a. Okay, let's do this. I got an idea. I have an idea. If we go back to entertainment, are there storage applications? Show all. Adobe, blah, 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 Funimation, Stars, Air Server. I'm not about to do that because I don't want to teach somebody how to do something that costs money. Sling, Amazon, Fubu. No. Music, Bird Blocks. Okay. So if this guy doesn't have it, then he probably doesn't either. That's what I was checking for. I was trying to see, if there was an app that he can move to, like, for example, iCloud. But let me think about this. So to answer your question, yes, it appears that the playback is slowed. Slow due to network. Oh, I have an idea. Connectivity. I'm sorry, due to it's a playback is slowed, which is probably due to the USB 2 ports. As to your question, there are, I don't know of an answer that doesn't include money. Google used to have a way that you can go, it's called Chromecast, but I don't know if you can stream, maybe you can. Well, okay, here's the thing, because it's a video file, right? We're not talking about streaming a website. We're talking about streaming a, brain is working. Hey, check this out. As to your question, you can try this. Upload the video to YouTube and play it from your TV by logging into your account. That should get it to play and give you an unlimited database of videos. Database of videos. Just keep them all as private. Just keep them all as private. I don't think YouTube would get rid of it if it's private. If you change it to public or unlisted, it may delete it, right? Because it's copyright infringement. But if it's private, then I think it'll be okay. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it'll be okay. If not, I would look to see if you have an app like OneDrive or iCloud as an app you can download on the LG C2. Okay, so you can try this. Upload the video to YouTube and play it from your TV by logging into your account. This should get it to play and give you an unlimited database of videos. Just keep them all as private as making them unlisted is copyright infringement. Gotta let him know, because if we don't say that, then we don't want him to get a strike against his account because we gave him an option, you know? Oh, shit. Let's not say that. We don't want to give him a strike against his account because he's trying to troubleshoot. He's trying to take our advice. It should be, that should get, try this by uploading a YouTube. You can try this. Upload the video to YouTube and play it. That should get it to play, and just keep it private. Unless, just try to keep and make them private. If it is a copyrighted video, then ignore the YouTube idea and proceed below. I promise I know how to spell below. If not, I would look to see if you have an app like OneDrive or iCloud as an app you can download on the LG C2. Yeah, we'll have to go with that, right? Because everything else is going to cost money. Computers will cost money. I was also, the first idea that I had in my head, but I stopped, and that caused me to pause, like, I don't know, a minute or two ago, was a Roku. Some Roku devices have USB ports on the back, and that could have been used. Also, routers. Damn, that's good. That's good. Also, does your router have a USB port on the back? USB. Well, okay. Even if you had it on your router, I have no idea how you'll be able to play it on your TV. So let me stop. Discard. We'll just go with that, because even if you had it there, I'm not exactly sure how he'll be able to play that back on his television. He can play it back on his computer, but I'm not sure if he can play it back on his television. So we'll leave it alone. If not, I would look to see if you have an app like OneDrive or iCloud as an app you can download on the LG C2. So yeah, we'll go with that because you can't Chromecast it, right? Because it's a video on your phone. You're not like trying to Chromecast a YouTube video. So you can't do something like that. Now, if he had like an iPhone and he had like the oh my God, the new Apple speaker, he could try that. Well, not the Apple speaker, but the Apple TV. He could try that and send it via the Apple TV. But, you know, unless he said he had an Apple TV, I'm not going to bring it up because, you know, that's like a $300 purchase. Like, it's really expensive. So, fun fact, I bought an Apple TV just so I can troubleshoot Apple issues. Like I'm in this. I'm in this for the long haul. But yeah, that's what I would say for IZ is human. And we'll just go ahead and move on. Keep us posted, bro. Wow, that was a long one. Okay, well, all right then. All right, next one. I'm running out of water. I don't know how many groups we got. Like, was it 8:41? We got about 30 minutes. Okay. I think we'll be all right. New GPU, PSU, no boot, red CPU light. And then he was asking if it was DOA. All right. Well, red on a Asus motherboard typically means CPU, but for this issue, can you go back to the 750 watt PSU? Does that fix the problem, or are you using any of the cables from the previous 750 watt PSU? They all swapped with the ones, and I tried to install the old PSU back, and it gave me 0% power across the board, no click or anything. Oh, to 1,000 watt EVGA. They all swapped with the ones, and I tried to install the old PSU. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. When you swapped the cables, when you swapped the PSUs, did you also swap the cables, or did you use the same ones? Cables are not compatible. Cables are not exactly compatible between PSUs and can cause serious issues to the motherboard if they don't exactly go into the device they are meant for, even if it's from the same manufacturer. I'm talking to you, Corsair. Even if it's from the same manufacturer. I didn't mean to put an exclamation point. That was stupid. All right. Whoa, whoa, whoa. When you swapped the PSUs, did you also swap the cables, or did you use the same ones? Cables are not exactly compatible between PSUs and can cause serious issue to the motherboard if they don't exactly go into the device they are meant for, even if it's from the same manufacturer. Okay, so yeah, Chrome sub, keep us posted, bro. This is kind of getting interesting with this whole PSU issue. Alrighty, that's what we would say for that one. That one's pretty straightforward. At that point, you know, we just gotta make sure that he swapped out the cables whenever he tried the other power supply, because the way it's sounding like it's dead, meaning that he probably used the same cables and swapped the power supply, which is a no-go. Shadowplay causing all DX12 games crashing within 3 to 5 minutes. I remember this. What GPU version are you on? We have a similar specs as one of our lab PCs. Can you give an example of a game that's having this issue? And what exactly do you enable in Shadowplay that triggers the failure? Is it only when you record? Is it once you take a picture? Or is it GeForce Experience just existing in the background? Hello. Currently, I like the exclamation point. It makes me happy. Currently, I am at the previous version of the current one driver, which is 528.24. I am too. We know what happens when you go to that newer driver. It blows up my computer. Well, it makes my computer crash. During the initial, I couldn't get anything to run before disabling Shadowplay. I thought it was the most current game-ready driver, 528.46, I believe it is. Anyway, I didn't want to take a chance on that driver because just that night before on my old PC, 528.24 is what I had installed, and it was stable, but the PC was Windows 10, and I wasn't having any issues at all. We have Windows 11. Let's check ours real quick. We have Windows 10, but it's a Radeon. It's not an NVIDIA. So let's check the 3090. Okay. You say, let's check the 3090 and you switch to the Mac. Good job, Anthony. Oh, wow. Okay, 3090. All right, bet. So NVIDIA experience, right? So we were 528.49. 528.49. What version are we on? No, it's something you click. Settings. Yeah, we're on 528.24. He's right. That's what I thought. I did the same thing. Okay, so 528.24. Oh, I'm sorry, I clicked on the wrong thing. Y'all are seeing the right thing. I'm seeing the wrong thing. All right. Yes. Okay, so we're all on the same boat. Okay, when I go into GeForce Experience, okay, I tried tinkering with the settings, including bitrate, privacy control, save location, but it always crashed. It turns out just the very existence of shadow play being turned on is enough for the game to crash. When I go into GeForce Experience and disable the overlay is when it works. As long as the overlay is on it, it will crash. Also, the errors I get are, oh wow, error device hung. Okay. I'm not doing anything specific to cause the crashes. It's more of when, not if situation. If Dead Space, I always crash before reaching Inshimura, give or take 15 seconds. I don't have Dead Space. I want to get it though, but I know I'm not going to play it. Control with DX12. I don't have that either. Keep going. DX12 crash within 3 to 5 minutes. DX11 games, this doesn't crash at all. Aliens Fireteam Elite. Come on, man. With DX12 enabled 3 to 5 minutes, then crash. Also runs fine on DX11. I'm not sure if Control. You got a Tomb Raider? Tomb Raider? Can I get a Tomb Raider? I'm not sure if Control or Aliens has a crash folder, but Dead Space does. And in the mini dumb crash folder, it always says, just shows a list of errors that repeat like Dead Space, blah, 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 blah. And after that sequence, every error just lists numbers and letters, of course. All right. So he has issue with DirectX 12, and this issue is with Shadowplay, aka GeForce Experience. So when we are in GeForce Experience, right, and we are looking at this, which is just right here, he said he changed the bit rate, which is here. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm afraid to click on it. I don't know what it's going to show. I don't remember. It's not shortcuts. It's not recordings. Recordings, broadcast live, highlights, photo mode, audio, video capture. That's what it was. Okay. So he changed it. He changed the bit rate. So I'm currently, we can try to give him our bit rate. But I wonder what happens if he changes the quality to low and resolution. Ooh, okay. Maybe we should take a picture and just give him this. Let me see. We can try that. Copy. Can you do that? I don't know if you can. I don't think you can. Let me actually just save it as a picture. Save. GeForce Experience. All right. Okay. So got that saved, and then we're gonna go back to here. All right. Let's compare. All right. Let's compare. Can I add? How do you add stuff? Link? I gotta link it? I can't just upload it? All right, let's compare. What are your settings? What happens if you change to low and I don't remember the rest, I'm sorry. Downloads, pictures, and then the GeForce Experience picture. All right. What happens if you change to low quality, and resolution to 1080p? I say 720p. Does it crash then? does it crash at the same parts? Also change frame rate to 30 and let's see what happens. Bit rate should be around, let's set bit rate to 20. All right, so basically we're trying to nerf his settings. So if we saw ours, we were at high in-game 60 FPS and 50 well, it's the bit rate. It can be constant bit rate or variable bit rate, but it's still the bit rate. So so yeah, it doesn't really have a moniker. It's just bit rate. So let's set the bit rate to 20. Also change the frame rate to 30 and let's see what happens. Let's set the bit rate. Change the frame rate to 30 and the bit rate to 20 and the bit rate to 20 and see what happens. Okay, and then let's think if there's anything else. Also 528, also those are the same drivers I am on, but unfortunately I don't have those games. Do you have Tomb Raider? Tomb Raider is DX12, isn't it? It has Tomb Raider DX12. Pretty sure it is. Yeah. Gets DS12 support. That's what I thought. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to close that. Shadowplay. Do you have Tomb Raider? Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I don't have those games. Do you have Shadow of the Tomb Raider? Does it give you the problem as well? Also, those games. Also, there are some drivers I am on, but unfortunately, I don't have those games. Do you have Shadow of the Tomb Raider? Does it give you the problem as well? So yeah, we have basically lower the settings. Also, let's try to figure out a game we can both agree on. That way we can both test it and see, because we have the exact same build. Like he told us his specs. He was running a 7700X RTX 3080 Ti with 32 gigs of RAM and a EVGA 1000. So he has a 3080 Ti. We have a 3090. He has a 7700X. We have, what is this? A 7900X, which is that guy. We haven't had it set up yet, right? Because we're still waiting on a mini ITX board, but we're very close. So I think we're probably going to have around the same settings. So let's go ahead. We can try it for him to see if we can get it to work, but we need to have a game that we can both agree on so that we can test it and see if we get the same problem. But I doubt it. I doubt that I would get that same problem. So yeah, we'll just have to troubleshoot and figure out exactly what's going on. But let's try to lower his settings and see if that makes a difference. Oh, also, be sure to update your BIOS as being your Ryzen buddy. I can confirm that this fixes 99% of all issues with Ryzen these days. LOL. All right, so yeah, go ahead and also let them know to go ahead and update the BIOS, because that may have something to do with it, just in case. Because that BIOS, man, that BIOS can be the reason why your RAM isn't working. It can be the reason why your motherboard isn't working. It can be the reason why your graphics card isn't working. It can be the reason why DX12 isn't working. It could be anything. Ryzen is just, man, it wants you. You better update the BIOS. That BIOS may come out on the 24th. If you don't update it by the 25th, you're gonna have a problem. Okay, obviously I'm joking, but yeah, you always want to make sure you're on the up-to-date version of that BIOS. It is a huge pain in the butt. Killer B, I remember Killer B. How can I forget? Float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. So the reason we need to know this is disabling your primary 144 Hz monitor and trying a different monitor eliminates the issue of being capable of monitor. We are essentially doing a process of elimination without saying process of elimination. LOL. Keep us posted. We run troubleshooting live streams, so just reply back here if you still have problems, and we will set it on Monday or see it on Monday. After this, it proves false. Next steps will be updating BIOS and clearing CMOS in case you want to know the highlights of the next chapter. LOL. So you were right. There was nothing odd in the BIOS. I went back into desktop and shifted everything to monitor 2, disabling monitor 1, loaded up a game, and all was good. Then I went back to monitor 1, and hey, presto, that was all good too. I have no idea why simply disabling and re-enable worked, but as you suggested, it was the screen, or maybe the GPU connection to the screen. It's the only one that goes in via DisplayPort, if that makes any difference, and it explains why even when I managed to source a screen recorder that records at 120 FPS, there was no ghosting in the videos, but I was seeing extreme ghosting with my own 2 eyes. I thought I was going crazy. Anyway, I'm not sure why that worked. I guess the screen needed a break, but thanks a million for pointing me in the right direction. I'll add this to my library of computer fixes in case this comes up again next BIOS update, and thanks for checking back in with me over the last few days. Your help is really appreciated. I like to thank the forum. Without them, it wouldn't be possible. I like to thank my mama for always believing in me. I'm gonna cry. That was so beautiful. This is why we do the things we do. This is why we help people. That is so beautiful. Thank you so much. Okay. I promised myself I wasn't gonna cry. I promised myself I wasn't going to cry. Thanks for the support, bro. We really appreciate it. This is why we do it. This is why we do this. This is why we do this. All the best, bro. Oh, it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. Oh, I'm a big softie. Oh, it was so pretty, man. Oh, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. That makes me so happy. Oh, my contacts. You ruined my contacts, you bastard. Hold on, give me a second. Okay. All right, I'm ready. I'm ready. That was beautiful, man. That was beautiful. I really appreciate it. That was so nice. I'm not crying on camera, am I? No, I'm not. I'm good. Ooh. Oh, that's pretty. That's a lot of fans, but it's pretty. Powder-coated modified Fractal North build. Yo, people are really getting into this wood grain finish. It looks really good, though. Good Lord, that looks good. I'm waiting on the black one to come in. I was thinking about upgrading to the black one, but it's the same height as the Define R6, and the Define R6 is based off of the North. So I mean, they're the same thing. They're from the same company. So you don't really gain anything. It's just a prettier look, slightly prettier. Well, okay, it's a prettier look. Call a spade is a prettier look. But I don't know if I'm gonna upgrade to it. But I think by the time it actually becomes available, nobody's gonna want it anymore, and everybody's gonna move on to the next greatest thing. In which case, I'm still gonna be behind with my 80 cases. But I don't know. ATX is something that's new to me. Oh, okay, it's not new to me. Obviously, I had a Define R6 sitting on my floor. It's not new to me. It's just that I've been in ITX for like 6 years, 7 years. Like I don't, like every computer, like I have like at least 10 ITX cases and maybe 1 ATX case. You see what I'm saying? Like I've used ITX for so long, it's kind of weird. Now I'm kind of re-entering the whole ATX world just because of the fact that I want a capture card for our stream. So I don't know how I'm gonna go about it. We'll see how I go about it in the future. I'll probably do another build log whenever I decide to switch. But for right now, I'll stick with the Define R6 until I figure out which case I'm gonna move to in the future. But man, that thing is beautiful. Good Lord, that is beautiful. Look at Noctua. Look at Noctua. Yo, I'm just gonna jump in here. This is Noctua. I'm just letting you know this is beautiful. We're gonna put it on our homepage, even though we didn't have to ask you. We're just gonna go ahead and put it on there because this is the beautifulest thing we ever seen. So thank you so much. Noctua out. That is the prettiest case okay. Let's just call it what it is. I threw money at the screen and nothing happened. Noctua, please pick up my money and get your case back in stock. Thanks. LOL. Control X. Let's put it here. Reply. I threw money at the screen and nothing happened. Noctua, please pick up my money and get your case back in stock. Thanks, LOL. I'm honored to hear you say so. I love Noctua. This simply, yeah, that's really cool. I didn't even know Noctua had an official page. I'm so down. You know we help people. We help companies too. I hope you didn't think that my knowledge and technical support only extended to customers. No. It extends to businesses too. Noctua official. I wonder if they have a support forum. No. It looks like they just have r/Noctua. Okay, so they don't have a whole lot going on. Okay, just making sure they didn't have a support channel, because if it was, I'd add it. I mean, hey, we are equal opportunity helpers. Well, we have something. Questions and advice. What does that turn out to be? How quickly do people answer? Okay, so they're asking Noctua, and they have reps, and they're pretty quick about it. Ooh, we'll go ahead and pick up one. Why not? We got a little bit of time. Well, we don't. We're pretty, we're pretty iffy on time, but I'm willing to help Noctua. About the gorgeous Chonky Boy, any idea when available in Europe? A new build is very, very topical for me at the moment. Okay, so his questions are based on just straight up Noctua itself, RTX 4080 Noctua Edition. I know this one. This is the okay, well, to be fair, I'm not even sure when that comes back. I can show y'all what he's talking about. RTX 4080 Noctua. It's beautiful. It's well, I wouldn't call it beautiful, but it has the Noctua fans on it. So yeah, he's talking about this guy. So I've seen this in a few different cases. It's really nice and really, really pretty. And it looks something similar to this. And yeah, he's just asking questions about the actual product line. They're not actually having issues that we can troubleshoot, so we can't help in this situation. But yes, we help businesses too. We're equal opportunity. Anyone can get it. Everyone can get the smoke when it comes to troubleshooting. That's how good we are. If you got networking, tech, PC, gaming, business, residential, network, internet, IP, NAT, MAC address. Yo, mama need help with the batteries and a remote. We do it all, man. We have no weaknesses in our game right about now. We're feeling pretty good. We're like on cloud 9 at this point. We done got 2 W's and like 3 assist trophies, and I'm feeling pretty good. So, oh, okay. So now we go Ethernet. Okay, I'm down. Jeek Joe Star 1 says, Ethernet connection doesn't improve speeds at all. Okay. I'm using a killer E600. Okay, so first off, if somebody says Ethernet, don't jump to conclusions. A lot of times people see Ethernet and they think that they may be using like the 10x100 Ethernet, fast Ethernet, instead of actually gigabit Ethernet. Don't jump to conclusions. Some people just don't know the difference. I'm using a killer E600 gigabit Ethernet connector, and my router is a Frontier FiOS G11 wireless gateway Wi-Fi router. Download and upload speeds don't improve at all, stuck at 28 megabits per second. I've never tried using an Ethernet connection before. Am I missing something? Well, what's your internet speed? Well, what's your internet speed? While wired to the router, go to speedtest.net and post the speeds here. Post the speeds here. We run a live stream where we help people, we help technical, or we support technical / gaming issues for free. So we will see all replies and reach back on the following day. All right, so what's that? We need to know more than this though. So I'm just saying that, just let him know that he can reply and I will reply back. Well, what's your internet speed? While wired to the router, go to speed test and post the speeds here. And then what else do we want to know on him? So he has a E600 gigabit Ethernet connector, a killer E600 gigabit Ethernet connector. Let me just look this up real quick, just to make sure that we're not missing something here. Come on now, how you gonna show me Ethernet cables? You can't, Intel, you can't even give us a picture no more. Y'all don't even do pictures no more. That's what we doing now. We're not even gonna show pictures. Okay. Okay. So it may be a USB dongle. It may not be. We'll troubleshoot it as we get to it. That's fine. We'll ask, is this a USB to Ethernet dongle, or is this directly from the motherboard? A USB to Ethernet dongle, or is this directly from the motherboard? What else do we want to know? Also, could you call your okay, because it sounds as if this person may not be adept at networking and IT. Most people aren't. Don't say ISP. Spell everything out, because it's easier for people to understand if you just spell everything out. So also, could you call your internet service provider to see what your rated speed is? Okay, and that's how you would troubleshoot that, right? So he doesn't know. Ethernet connection doesn't improve speed at all. Improve it from what? He doesn't know. He's just saying, hey, I'm just getting 28 megabits per second and I'm having a problem. So the way you would troubleshoot this is, okay, well, let's get some standards going. Okay. Well, what happens when you run a speed test? Wired. Okay. Then what happens if you call your internet service provider and ask them what speed you're supposed to be getting? Okay. And then kind of just go from there. And then also ask, how exactly are you connected on your computer? Is it basically a USB dongle, or is it going directly into the motherboard? Because I've heard of killer NICs, but they can be on USB dongles and it can be on motherboards. It really kind of depends. And I'm not about to just going through Internet Explorer trying to figure out which one you have. It's better just to ask on this in this situation. So a lot of questions that we need to answer, but as soon as he replies back, we should be able to troubleshoot him, no problem. This is an easy issue. Well, easy for us because, we may be a little adept at networking. I'm just saying. So yeah, we'll just go with that one here and see what he says. So let's keep us posted here. Oh, we're doing really good. So we got only one group left, and then one more case in group 5. So not too bad. Not too bad for 906. We'll probably finish at the right amount of time. Oh, Xbox. Oh, I remember him. This is the guy whose trigger was rumbling, whose stomach was rumbling. Let's see. Let's make sure. Whose tummy's rumbling? Oh yeah, this is the guy with the Xbox controller that sounded like an RC car. Going in reverse. All right. So we worked this, right? We say your controller sounds like an RC car, but in all seriousness, that is the sound of a motor dying. Guessing your controller is on its last legs, bro. And then he said, not even a year old, blah, blah, blah. I said, yeah, welcome to the world of Xbox controllers. I'm on my 6th RMA myself. But yeah, it just means it's deteriorating. It may stop altogether. It may not, but might as well get familiar with the RMA process as you will need it. If it stops altogether, I'm sending it back and buying a new one, but for now, it's good. Okay, well, okay. Well, fun issue, bro. All the best. I mean, there's nothing to say. You want to hold a cool conversation and ask about my life story. I mean, I'm willing to talk, but I mean, there's nothing I can say to that. So we're just gonna go ahead and move on. Thanks. We appreciate it. Hey, we like W's. It's okay. Updating. Oh God. So this was that Arctis. I thought we already did this. No. I think we were talking about it, and then I went to the Mac, and we were talking about it. But I don't know if did we work this. I feel like we did though. Okay, maybe not. M1 MacBook Ventura 13.2. We looked at the operating system on the Mac, and we saw the same thing. We also downloaded the GG app. GG app is an app for the application. It should already be up. It's this right here from our Mac. Sorry. Make sure to allow input monitoring. I uninstall and reinstall, blah, blah, blah. I got it updated. I didn't have the dongle switch to USB. Oh, that's right. He fixed this issue. What happens if you plug your USB-C, blah, blah, blah. I can't find my USB-C cable, so I tried to hub so I can use to provide a USB-C. He already fixed his issue. He said he didn't have the dongle switch to USB, and we laughed. Yeah. Okay. We already worked this issue. I'm sorry. He posted twice. When people post twice, I get emails twice. So I open tabs up and I don't know people's names because I like being shocked about issues and troubleshooting them live than going through and reading them. You see what I'm saying? It's a little bit more authentic. So because of that, this right here can really mess me up because I'll open it twice because they replied twice. So yeah, that happens every now and then. So sorry about that. Ooh, Skyreach 4 Mini. We're twins. I have the Skyreach 4 Mini too. I have a lot of ITX cases. I have a problem. I already realized I have a problem, and I don't know what I'm gonna do to fix it, but it is what it is at this point. I have like 10 ITX cases and only 2 motherboards. That's the life that I live right now when it comes to ITX cases. All right, 3.46 liter Skyreach 4 Mini, obviously. Oh, I'm sorry, Skyreach 4 Tiny. The Mini is no longer in stock. With a 5700G and an RTX A4000 build guide. He did this, and not the customer. This person here, Puff Up Business. I'm talking about NFC, not from Concentrate. This guy here, he made this build. That's what it came from. He made a build with the RTX A4000, and then he released the notes, and then everybody else was able to do it. So it was actually a really dope build. It has an RTX A4000. And for those of you who are not aware, an RTX A4000, if it's going into a liquid cooler, it turns into a 3060. It turns into a 3060. It turns into a 3060. This little card turns into a 3060. So you get a 3060 in. Hold on. All right. Hold on. In this, okay? You see how small this is, okay? This, you can put a 3060 in it, but it has to be the RTX A4000. And when you have it, you can have this right here. And this right here can fit in your pocket. It's so small. It's super, super tiny. I love this case. I just haven't had a chance to build in it yet. But eventually I'm gonna get to it. But yes, a RTX A4000 liquid cool can fit in this case. And RTX A4000, it looks like, it doesn't look like that. It's smaller than that. Yeah, it doesn't look like that either. RTX A4000 GPU. Okay, so these are Quadro cards. It is a Quadro card, but it doesn't look like this. I think he used a 2000. Let me look at the 2000. It's smaller and fatter, and it only has mini display on the back. It's this. Yeah, this right here. You see this? RTX A2000 tiny graphics card. It fits in here. Now, you have to do a few things with the shroud and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, it still fits in that case. And that case is super tiny. It is the smallest case known to mankind that can still fit a graphics card. It is beautiful, but it's very hard to do so. So if you look here, he has the Flex PSU. He has, of course, the Noctua L9A Chromax with the black, and then he has the Be Quiet on the heatsink for the NVMe. He has an ITX motherboard here, or maybe even a DTX motherboard. It really kind of depends. And then he has some RAM there, and then as you can, so he put it in there full. So basically, he didn't turn it into a liquid cool system. He just put the ATX in there all together, and because of that, it bowed out the case. So it forced him to basically make it longer than it needed to be, but he got it in. So if you look there, you see how he has it extended because he has the full-size graphics card in there, and he didn't have to remove the shroud. The Not From Concentrate, the guy who has this YouTube channel who actually creates these, he removed the shroud. He did it twice. He did it once with removing the shroud, and the second one he did it with a water cool build. But this is still really, really nice because anybody can do this, right? The other one requires some 3D modeling printouts, such as you had to actually do in order to actually get it to work properly. But this one right here, anyone can do. Anyone and their mama can do this. Well, not their mama probably, but anyone else can do this. So, hey, that's pretty clean, man. And it's a little bit longer, but I mean, it's fine. It was 3.46 liters, nothing that small. So now we're talking about a 4-liter case instead of a 3.46, but it's a 3060, okay? It is a 3060. I repeat, it is a 3060. It is on par with a 3060. It's a little bit less than a 3060, but it's still a 3060. A 3060 traveling can do everything that you need to do. It can do everything you need to do at 1080p at 240 hertz with the Asus XG17 AHPE. It can do it at 2K. For 120, it can do everything you want with a portable monitor. It'll do whatever you want it to do. That 3060 is dope, especially in this. So, hey, y'all might want to take notes. I want to take notes too. This is, okay. So this isn't the A2000. This is really an A4000. You could actually tell because he has display ports and not the mini display. So this is a smaller, thinner 1U card. So it was exactly what we were looking at when we were looking at the A4000 at first, and it was showing us all those pictures. And we were like, what the hell is this? That's what it was. It was showing us the right pictures. We just didn't know. So it's this 1-slot card here. So this is a professional grade graphics card that has professional drivers. It's essentially for programs like 3ds Max and Autodesk Maya, as well as production programs like if you're an architect. And that's what it's pretty much used for. But you can also turn it into a PC or a case or use it for a PC build, because this, like, okay, I made this story before, but my first actual high-end graphics card wasn't, okay, it was a 570, so it was way back when. But my first professional one was the Quadro 4000, the original Quadro 4000. I bought that guy, and it took like 80 paychecks because it was like $700 back then, which is like at least $8 million. And I was in college on top of that, so it was very expensive. And that card was trash when it came to video games. But these newer ones are actually pretty good. They're usually on par with their graphics counterparts. So A4000 here will probably be on par with like a 3060 Ti, because it's more expensive than the A2000. The A2000 is only like $500-600. So hey, you know, congratulations to him. I would bookmark this. This is one of the best builds I've ever seen for the not from concentrate computer. That is beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful, because you did not need to remove the shroud or liquid cool. NFC made similar builds, but they were all difficult to recreate. Hats off to you, bro. So yeah, gotta give the man his props. It's really hard to recreate off the ones from NFC. Like his are really hard. Like I can show you. NFC, not what was it? S4 Tiny. S4 Tiny. Not this. His YouTube channel. S4 Tiny. Oh, I'm sorry. We just go to YouTube. YouTube. And then not from concentrate. Not from concentrate. S4 Tiny. Videos. Yeah, this one right here.
I've weighed over.
Okay, we're just gonna skip to it. The endpoint. So you see that's the A2000. You see how the way he has it set up? It's very difficult to make this build. Very, very difficult. But, you know, if you have all the parts and components, you can make that. But this is the A2000, the one with the 4 mini display ports. So it's very similar to his build, the one that he did, except that he did his with the A4000, which is only a 1U. This one's a little bit thicker. But at the same time, if we remove the shroud, it becomes even smaller than the one that he used. So, yeah. And they were able to get it set up. And it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful with a GPU, and it's super tiny. Ah, I love this build. I want to make this build so much, but it's so much, and I just don't have the time. But if I had the time, I would make this build totally. It's so beautiful. But yeah, okay, enough of me swooning over S4 Tinies. Congrats, Puff.Business. I'm very happy for you. All right, look back to helping people. I'm sorry. I went full nerd for a second there. I have to get back to earth. Okay, I'm back. All right, funny, wacky guy. Connection problem with Series X using Nest Wi-Fi. I remember this. We worked this, and we went back and forth. Well, because it's only like 10 feet from the extender. No, it's like 10. Okay, well, let's just read what we said first. Well, if that's the case, I would say go ahead and update the firmware on the router, but it sounds like the Wi-Fi signal is just weak. What question, does any other device in your home have this issue? If so, then your signal may just be weak, thus you may need an extender or a stronger Wi-Fi router. It's definitely not weak because it's only like 10 feet from an extender. What? No other device has a connection problem. Firmware is updated. Whoa. Extender? No, it's like 10 feet away from extender, and I still have problems, which is incorrect, which is in the correct bridge mode. No. Hold on. Hey everyone, I have a problem with my Xbox Series X ever since I got a new router. Sometimes my IPv6 will drop and I won't be able to join parties. I would go through a bunch of stuff and eventually I had to unblock ports 3075, blah, blah, blah. This worked, but the next time I turned on my Xbox on, I had the same problem and I had to reset. Now I have gone through this again and nothing works. I'm completely lost. Any ideas? I should also mention there is no NAT. There is no issue with NAT. Okay. Because occasionally it will say Torito IP issues, but sometimes I resolve that and sometimes it doesn't work even with the correct ports unblocked. And how do we get to this? Never mind. We don't need to take that route as we only are troubleshooting this Wi-Fi at this point. If you would have said wired failed, I would have continued with the bypass. Now I have gone through this again and nothing works. I'm completely lost any ideas. Blah blah blah. We talked. What did we say? Show parent comments. You have comments. You want to discard them? Oh, I'm sorry. Control X and cancel, and then we need to see what we were talking about here. Okay, it works wired, but not via Wi-Fi. It seems resolved over wire, but I would still like to figure it out. What do you mean by bypass my router? Okay, so it works wired. Okay. Whoa, extender? How many extenders do you have? How many extenders do you have? What happens if you get close to the router itself, not the extender? Is your internet speed better? Is your internet issue resolved? Whoa, extender? Oh, no, don't say whoa. He said extender twice, and I didn't pick up on it until now, so I'm not going to say that. Extender, how many extenders do you have? What happens if you get close to the router itself, not the extender? Is your internet issue resolved? Next Wi-Fi Pro. Extender, how many extenders do you have? What happens if you get close to the router itself, not the extender? Is your internet issue resolved? Okay, I know what most people would say at this point, Ethernet over power. So it's not that we don't know how to fix them, right? Because we know wired fixes them, which means Ethernet over power probably fixes them. It's just trying to help him troubleshoot his Wi-Fi. I think we've already talked about upgrading the firmware. Yeah, firmware is updated. So we already talked about upgrading the firmware. So yeah, I would say get closer to the router and not the extender and see if it makes a difference. So for everybody at home, a wireless extender extends your range to give you a further range than normal, which means that if he's near his extender, that means that he's not even near his router. He's near the extender. So basically the point at which this extender is extending his network, that may be the point of failure for him. So it really kind of depends on the system and how it's set up, because it depends on the topology, if it's mesh or whatever, what kind of routers he's using, so on and so forth. So if we take him and let him go closer to his router so that he's connected to his router and not necessarily to the extender, which is to his router, don't get me wrong. It's just, if you go to the router and you have a stronger signal going to the router, it's a possibility that it may resolve the issue, same way as wired resolves the issue. So go ahead and try getting closer to the router and not using the extender and see if that makes a difference, because the issue could be the point of failure at the extender. So let's go from there and then just see what he says. How many extenders do you have? What happens if you get close to the router itself, not the extender? Is your internet issue resolved? Alrighty, so yeah, we'll go with that. And funny, wacky guy, keep us posted. 2 more. Let's do it. What's the value in expensive motherboards? Well, it depends on who you ask, man. Obviously, there are things to consider like NVMe slots, DDR5 compatibility, etc. But what are the perks to buying a $500 motherboard versus a $200 motherboard? And what specs do I like to identify these things, such as better audio quality, new to building PCs, and would like to consider these things when I upgrade platforms eventually? Well, there is no point at buying a $500 motherboard unless you have a very good reason. Case in point, we run a live stream where we troubleshoot technical issues just like yours, and we have how many? 1, 2, 3. We have 3 cameras and we have like 6 inputs: Xbox, PS5, Switch, and 3 cameras. So, and we have 6 HDMI inputs. We prefer to use them on a motherboard, as using cam links loses connectivity from time to time and will crash vMix, our streaming software. Thus, we use a capture card a four HDMI capture card for a 4-port HDMI capture card, 4-port HDMI capture card, and 4090 for our encoding. But the 4090 covers most of the ports, so we need a full size ATX board, and we need it to be powerful enough to run multiple inputs and encode quickly. Thus, we encode quickly. Therefore, a $500 motherboard is just business. It's just business at this point. But if you eat Cheetos and play Smash Brothers in your pajamas, it may not be as useful. It may not be as useful. Therefore, a $500 motherboard is just business at this point. But if you eat Cheetos and play Smash Brothers in your pajamas, it may not be as useful. That's how I look at it, at least. But there are some that just buy with their eyes. We call them people. No, that's not even funny anymore. We'll just say buy with their eyes and leave it at that. All right, yeah, I will go with that. So yeah, our needs for this stream and what I wanted to evolve into requires so much that all of this is just the cost of doing business. But if you're not really trying to do that and you're not trying to create something, then that's a little different. And because of that, you don't necessarily need to go for a $500 motherboard. But if you have plans on, like if you have a vision in your head of where something is going, then it doesn't, whatever you have to do in order to get to that next step, then get to that next step. If it means that you have to pick up overtime, if it means you have to pick up a second job, if it means that you have to leave and come back, then do so. Because that's how I pretty much built my whole life. I've been trying to make YouTube videos and make content and help people my entire life. It didn't click until I was like 36. So regardless of how many people are watching, regardless of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, I will continue to do so because I enjoy doing it. I can help people in my sleep. I love helping people. And I like the feeling that you get when you help people and help them solve their issues and, you know, do something that nobody else was able to do. So for me, everything else is just white noise. It doesn't matter how much you end up spending in the long run if the end result is getting to where you have created something that can help a bunch of people. You see what I'm saying? So for me, it doesn't matter anymore. It's just numbers at that point. It's just like, okay, if it's $500, if it's $1,000, if it's $10,000, if it's $1 million, whatever. What do I have to do to get to that point so that I can do X? You see what I'm saying? So it's no longer about money. So that's the reason why I buy motherboards or I buy expensive products, because we troubleshoot customers who also buy those products. So, you know, and some people may just do it because they like the aesthetic look of it. It really just depends on the person. So just to give him an idea of how people, you know, live their lives and runs their business and how they buy products and all that kind of stuff. That's the reason why $500 motherboards are useful, because they give you so many options and they have multiple inputs, and you can have multiple HDMI inputs, and you can have 8 cam links or whatever else you want to set up. So it really just kind of depends on the business that you're running. Because if you have 4 USB 3 ports, there's no way in blue hell you're putting 4 cam links in that port, in that slot, because it's not going to have enough power to run all 4 of those cam links. So it really depends on what you're running, because some people can just get by with just, you know, one USB 3 port for their mouse and a USB 2 port for their keyboard and call it a day. Others need more. It really just depends on the person. So yeah, I wanted to give him a real answer. You know what I mean? I could just make jokes and stuff like that, but I feel like that's a better answer. So that's the reason why people buy those kind of motherboards, because they have a reason for it, or they just really like the prettiness. Okay, last issue. Let's do it. I need some help. Well, help is what we do, sir. Have you met us? Help is exactly who we are. I have an Xbox Series S, and my monitor I have now is pretty crappy. It's one of those regular Dell monitors you get with a computer. He's talking about a Dell U2412. Damn, Anthony. You got a problem if you remember that. Good God, man. Good God. What am I? How do I know this? Yes, he's talking about a Dell U2412, you guys. I was wondering if the 31.5 Nitro XVO gaming monitor X32OU QU it was any good. It's on sale for $279, or is it just a waste of money? Oh, you even gave us the link. I appreciate it. We don't gotta look it up. Well, accept cookies, sure. So it's 1 millisecond response time. It's 144 hertz. What's the specs on it? Resolution, it's 2K 144 hertz. I mean, it's okay. It's an LCD screen, LED panel, or the screen display screen type LCD. Backlight technology is LED. Okay. So, I mean, it's fine. It's fine. Looks fine. Looks fine. As long as you have the components to run a 32-inch monitor, 32-inch monitor at 1440p with 144 hertz. If you have no plans on upgrading to such a build, there would be no point, because you just have a fancy monitor and you won't have a graphics card that can run it. You'd be better off at 1080p at that point. So it really just depends on what his build is. Looks fine as long as you have the components to run a 32-inch monitor at 1440p with 144 hertz. If you have no plans on upgrading to such a build, there will be no point. So yeah, that's what I would say to that, and just kind of go from there. You know, it really kind of depends on his build, but we'll just kind of keep it light and brief and see what he says. If he has more questions, we'll be there. Of course, you know, that's what we do. All right, and that's gonna do it for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was a fun day. This was a really fun day. I'm really happy. We helped a lot of people. That was really nice. And if you like this video, go ahead and like button. If you really like it, I'm gonna subscribe. I love you either way. Take care. All the best, and bye. I'm not gonna be able to remove this smile